What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Of course, now I do sports in the morning, and later in the afternoon, I'll do a react that I'll upload pretty much to YouTube and also go live on TikTok early in the morning while I'm doing sports. But with the React, I won't be going live on TikTok because they can't see what I'm reacting to on TikTok because I do my podcast through StreamYard. All right, so let's get into last night's scores. We had nice amount of games. I mean, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 games or more last night. I'm gonna try to go through it a little quicker since there's more. Denver beat Washington 118-104, and they should have. Michael Porter Jr. put up 21. Jokic put up 31, 17 for Murray. Bruce Brown gave you 14 off the bench. Okay, we got 25 from Kristaps Porzingis on the Wizards side, and Denny Avadija, I think his name is, gave you 16. And you didn't get much from the Wizards at all. We had the Knicks played the Heat. Knicks lost to the Heat 127-120, which I think they should because a healthy Heat is definitely better than the Knicks on paper. You got 26 from RJ Barrett, 15 from Randall, 25 from Jalen Brunson. Quentin Grimes gave you 22. Jimmy Bucket still gave you a 35-piece wing dinner, as Kendrick Perkins would say. 15 from Bam Adebayo with 7 rebounds, 3 assists, block steal. 22 from Tyler Hero, 19 from Gabe Vincent, and Kyle Lowry, who came off the bench, gave you 14. Okay, next game we got the Pacers and the Toronto Raptors. Pacers beat them 118-114. Benedict Mathurin gave you 15, 16 from Turner, 13 from Buddy Hield. Andrew, what is that? Nimhard gave you 25, and TJ McConnell gave you 14. And Raptors, Pascal Siakam gave you 31, 23 from Jacob Pertl, and 28 from Fred Van Fleet. Let's pull up some of these other games. We had Golden State Warriors and the Mavs. That was a close one, 127-125. Warriors won, of course. We would get 14 from Draymond, 12 from Looney, 20 from Steph, 22 from Jonathan Kuminga, who was actually leading scorer with Jordan Poole giving you 16. And Curry also gave you 13 assists, and Draymond Looney gave you 12 and 12, double double, and then Reggie Bullock 15, 13. Former Tar Heel, always got to shout out my former Tar Heels. Dwight Powell gave you 13, 12 from Josh Creed, and 30 from Luka. Christian Woods 19 off the bench, and Jaden Hardy gave you 27. Man, if they just had Kyrie Irving, they probably could have won that game. Probably should have won that game if they had Kyrie Irving. We got Houston Rockets and the Grizzlies. Of course, the Grizzlies won, and they should have. Even without John Morant, the Grizzlies should be beating the Rockets. And we got, let's see, 37 from Jaren Jackson Jr., along with 13 rebounds and 2 blocks, 1 steal. 20 from Desmond Bain. Ja played, but he didn't start. But he gave you 17 off the bench. And Tyus Jones gave you 14. And David Roddy gave you 13. But damn, Jaren Jackson had a game with a 37 and 13. And then you got 32 from Jalen Green, 14 from Kevin Porter Jr. And these European cats with their name. Apparin Sinjin, gave you 25. Jabari Smith Jr. gave you 16 and 31 from Kenya Martin Jr. They're just still the Houston Rockets are just too young still. They have no experience on how to win. They really don't. They really, really don't. What's this other game? I skipped over. Yeah, Chicago and the Sixers. Of course, the Sixers beat them 116 to 91, which they should. We got 20 out of Tobias Harris, 12. That's the thing. Embiid was able to take a relaxation night. It looks like he only shot 7 shots. Well, he only played 16 minutes though. Hope that doesn't look good though. So I got to check on that. Embiid might have got hurt. They had to go out. They can't. Sixers are going nowhere without Embiid. Maxey gave you 21, 25 from D'Anthony Melton, and PJ Tucker doing PJ Tucker things. Only gave you 5 points as usual. And I mean, the Bulls didn't really do nothing, man. You got 16 from Zach LaVine, 14 from what is that? Ayo DeSumo, Derrick Jones Jr. 10. Like the bench scored all the points for Chicago last night. Chicago is definitely going to have to make some major moves in the offseason. Like I expect a lot of people to be hitting the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more. What other games we got? We got Spurs, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Minnesota, Portland, Utah. That's the thing. There ain't but so many games left in the season. Only like 9, 10 games left in the season right now. So we got Spurs and the Bucks. The Bucks spanked them 130 to 94. And of course, rightfully so they should have. Spurs are definitely, you know what? Devin Vassell played, but like, hold up. Spurs got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players inactive. Devontae Graham, I would think, should be a high minute player for the Spurs right now with what they got. Keldon Johnson did not play injury. And Noah Pop, that could be like, it could be like just trying to sit him out and trying to, lose games to get that higher pick. Because at this point, the Spurs, they don't stand a chance. Middleton gave you 19, 31 from Giannis, 11 from Lopez, 7 from Drew Holiday, 14 from Joe Ingles, and 19 from Bobby Portis. They're going to be a tough team come playoff time with Bobby Portis and Ingles, their first 2 guys off the bench. Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Brook Lopez, Giannis, and Chris Middleton makes for a nice lineup. And to be honest with you, you could be starting Joe Ingles over Grayson Allen all day long. But I think it's smart that you got Joe Ingles coming off the bench. And then with Bobby Portis, I mean, they literally gave you 33 off the bench with just them 2. And Portis gave you 10 rebounds. I definitely got mad respect and love for Bobby Portis as a player. I watched some of his interview the other day and the Chicago thing. Like, the court of public opinion needs to really stop with this just assuming things about a person's character just because, one situation or one issue pops up, especially in sports. Like, Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr, so what? It doesn't mean nothing. It's part of building a championship team. Okay, what other scores we got to look at here? We got Hawks and T Wolves. Karl Anthony Towns just came back and hit a game-winning shot to win the game. Hawks are definitely the big disappointment in the East. You got 16 from Hunter. Collins gave you 16. Clint Capella 11. Bogdanovich gave you 11 and 29 from Trae Young, who was a negative 13. And I saw a story today talking about the Hawks trying to get rid of John Collins to free up some space to go after Jaylen Brown. Like, why would Jaylen Brown to go play leave Jason Tatum to go play with Trae Young unless he was promised um, more of a significant more shots and more money. More shots and more money. I mean, what else would it be? And I'm pretty sure like Boston, if they don't get Jaylen Brown a nice chunk of money, man, they're stupid because he could be a game changer for whoever picks him up. I mean, the right team picks him up, he could be a game changer. And you think a team like the Warriors won't go after him? Psh, you crazy. They will. The T Wolves, you got 25 from Jalen McDaniels, 22 from Karl Anthony Towns, 12 and 12 from Rudy Gobert, which is all you need out of them. 9 from Kyle Anderson, and Mike Conley gave you 13 and 15 for Torian Prince. And of course, Anthony Edwards did not play, and they still won. And they get Anthony Edwards back with a healthy Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, I still like to see what this. We don't know what that team could really be because Karl Anthony Towns has been hurt like all season long. So we don't know really the full potential of the T Wolves. My phone is over there blowing up. So I got notifications and emails coming in. Portland played the Jazz and they beat them 127-115. Thibault gave you 6, 21 from Watford. Your Yusuf Nurkic gave you 20, 24 from Shaden Sharp. And they need to give him more minutes anyways. And 30 from Damian Lillard. And Cam Reddish gave you 11. And he still, I mean, he got 21 minutes. But damn, you over there in Portland now and you can't even get more minutes than Shaden Sharp. What does that tell you? What does that tell you if Cam Reddish can't get more minutes than Shaden Sharp? Shaden Sharp played 39 minutes, man. That's more than anybody on the team last night. He put up only 24. Leading scorer was Dame Lillard with 30. So Cam Reddish, Kevin Knox put up 24. He's another cat. Like how you've had plenty of opportunity to show, do you got really what it takes? And I don't think Cam Reddish really got. He's a nice rotation piece, but that's about it. This idea he should be a starter, man, is bogus. Suns played the Lakers. And, nobody thought the Lakers was going to win this game. I saw everybody talking about it yesterday, all the sports analysts and debaters. Nobody thought the Lakers stood a chance. The only reason they won this game is because of Austin Reeves again. So that should tell you something right now, man, about the Lakers. Austin Reeves right now is either their second or third best player if he keeps this up. I like D'Angelo Russell, but he's a roller coaster. He's up and down, up and down, up and down. And Anthony Davis all year is up and down, up and down, up and down. Roller coaster, man. And I think he's going to be gone at the end of the season. I don't think he wants to be there anymore. I don't think it's fun playing with LeBron anymore to him and whatnot. Let me look at the standings after this game. Lakers are back in the 10th seed. They'd have to play Dallas. Minnesota's in the 7th seed. Minnesota, this is the thing. Clippers, with Paul George being hurt, they're in the 5th seed. The Warriors can move up to that 5th seed, and the Clippers could fall out, man. They could start losing a ton of games. I could see Minnesota probably falling into that 6th seed and not even having to make the play-in with Karl Anthony Towns back. OKC, they're still young. They're still young. It doesn't really matter if they get in or not. They're not going to beat, Denver or Memphis. And Phoenix, I mean, they're still at 4, but, I mean, they need to ramp back. They're in the middle of the pack. Kings, I'm not sold on the Kings because of what happened to them the other day when they played Boston. They got spanked by Boston. I mean, you go over the East, you got Milwaukee still at number 1, Boston at number 2, Philly at number 3. Hopefully, Joel Embiid ain't hurt. Let me see. I don't see nothing on NBA.com about that. And that so I did see something about that. Mavs filing protests over loss to Warriors. Embiid exits first half with right calf tightness. Hopefully that's nothing. Hopefully he's okay. That's the team I want to come out the East this year is the Sixers. I like the Sixers to win it all this year. I would really like the Sixers to win it all. To be honest with you, I think the perfect NBA Finals this year, just to silence any critics, just to just for the MVP argument's sake, I think the ideal situation this year is the Denver Nuggets versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Jokic versus Embiid, winner takes all. Even though the MVP will be, you know, determined based off the regular season and before the playoffs or before the finals begin, you know. But still, I think like if it's they go and play each other in the finals, I'm pretty sure no matter who wins the MVP, everybody's gonna clearly say if the other guy wins the NBA finals that he was definitely the better player all year long, the MVP, most valuable to his team. That's why I like to see Denver versus the Sixers and get some new blood in. Anyways, we need some new blood in the NBA Finals, man. The Sixers were, I mean, the Suns were just there and they had a chance and they blew it. The the Celtics were just there, they had a chance and they blew it. And the Celtics have been there a shit ton of times. And of course, the Warriors just won last year. They've been there a shit ton of times. Um, yeah, that's what I want to see. Denver versus, you know, the Sixers. And it's probably and I would be shocked if Milwaukee comes out the East this year. I really would. I think everybody's still like quietly overlooking and just forgetting about Giannis just because he don't got a jump shot. But who cares? I mean, Giannis is clearly one of the most dominant players in the NBA, one of the most dominant players ever in the NBA. He's had his high usage has been so ridiculously high with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday's hurt because it has to be. I mean, we're going to rely on Grayson Allen, a Duke player, a Duke Blue Devil to take over the game. You know, yeah, I might have some Carolina Tar Heel bias in there when I say that. You know, if it was a Kyrie Irving, I wouldn't be saying that. You know, I'd be thinking differently because Kyrie can take over a game. You know, but yeah, You know what? I want to go over like I said, the Eastern Conference's most disappointing team this year has been Atlanta. I think in the West, it has to be um, the Lakers. It has to be the Lakers because there's always just so much hype around them, so much hype around them. And I'm just looking at the bottom of the standings. My Charlotte Hornets are 14th in the East. They're almost dead last. They won't make dead last because we keep winning games that we shouldn't win. We don't need to win. You know, the Pistons are 16 and 57. That'd be crazy if the Pistons get Victor Wembanyama. That'd be so crazy. Then you got, Pistons are the worst in the league. They got 16 wins. You got Houston with 18, Spurs at 19, and then the Charlotte Hornets at 23 wins at 14th. Like, we got probably the fourth best odds to get the number one pick. You know, if we could get Victor Wembanyama, man, I mean, if I'm Michael Jordan, I might would reconsider selling my stakes. I might would reconsider selling my majority stakes if Charlotte Hornets could get the number one pick, and that would be a great. It would be probably a great year for North Carolina if the Hornets got the number one pick and the Panthers got the number one pick. even though I'm more sold on the number 1 pick in the NBA and the number 2 pick. That's the thing. We only need at least the number 2 pick. If we could just get Scoot Henderson to go along with LaMelo Ball, PJ Washington, Miles Bridges comes back. Hopefully he don't get locked up or anything, depending on how the case goes on. And I don't make allegations or nothing like that or whatnot. So we definitely need him back. Get rid of Terry Rozier's contract for probably some veteran shooters. Get rid of Gordon Hayward's contract for some veteran defensive players. Like try to get a PJ Tucker or something like that or something, man. But yeah, and let me check out NFL. I don't see no NFL news that's really newsworthy to talk about right now. Nothing that's happened that's a difference maker. I didn't talk about Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins. I still don't think this gets the Dolphins over the hump because it still is riding on Tua's, shoulders now. Because this is the thing. There's 2 ways you win a Super Bowl. You either be a very good, smart game manager with a dominant running game and a dominant defense. And the defense has to be more dominant than the running game. But like the only team that's won the Super Bowl with the number 1 rushing in the NFL and the number 1 defense was the 85 Bears. There hasn't been a team like that since. You had Walter Payton, and then you had the defense you had with Singletary and Richard Dent and Steve McMichael and Ron Rivera and everybody they had. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a dominant running game and a super dominant defense and a very good game manager, or you got to have a pocket passer of a quarterback. Because this thing, when you're a running quarterback and you're down 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, you can't run. You can't just run it up the field and come back. That just burns too much of the clock. You got to be able to take these riskful passes. You got to get something long up the field, a good 30, 40 yarder, 50, 60 yarder, and score fast. That's why it's hard we've never really seen a dominant running quarterback win a Super Bowl yet. It is yet to be done, because once you get the Super Bowl and you're down, you gotta kind of be like a 50-50 guy. You gotta be and I would say 60-40. You gotta be able to pass a little bit more better than you can run. And that's the thing. A lot of these dominant running quarterbacks, they're like 70-30 guys. They're like 70% running and 30% passing. Patrick Mahomes is like a 60-40 guy, 70-30 guy. Like Tom Brady was like a 90-10 guy, passing and ran 10% of the time, maybe even 5%. He's probably 95% 5, when you break it down to percentages and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm still not seeing no moves in the NFL where I'm like, oh my gosh, this team right here should be favored automatically and whatnot. So, once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast, and I'm out.